here we go. This is the Suicide Squad's Black Files, issue number 3, possibly the last issue. I'll get onto that later on. The cover is awful. This artist, Niles Irving, he's dreadful. This is not an appealing cover. He also did the cover to number 1 as well, but this one isn't too bad. It's more of a concept piece. This is dreadful though. I got this comic because I thought this character here was Calypso, because it looks like him. But it's apparently Witch Boy, who is awful. Actually, Niles Irving, he drew the Witch Boy series by Van Morrison, which is probably why he's doing the covers. And his art was probably one of the main reasons that I really hated that Witch Boy series. I mean, the character is annoying. And pairing an annoying character with awful art. This character here, this one, it is the non-binary character. And I only know that because I have read the story. You wouldn't ever be able to guess who this character was. Like, if you're in the shop, if you were walking by the stands and you saw this, you would have no idea who this character is. I really didn't know why they put them on the cover. They are not going to sell the book because nobody knows who they are. And look at me there with all my correct pronouns. This one, it's El Devil, and he's the only one who you can really tell who it is. And they have forgotten to include Samurai Lassie anywhere on the cover. And the non-binary character doesn't really do out in the whole comic. This is just a really bad cover. I'm not even gonna use this for the thumbnail. I'll use some art from inside. We get 2 full-length stories, same as the last 2 issues. First one here is by Mike Wabar. It's Samurai Lassie and it's sexy. The second one is the Magic Team, Suicide Squad's Black. And this one though, Madame Hydra's soul, it has been put in Samurai Lassie's body. And Samurai Lassie's soul is trapped inside her sword. And they are springing an ambush on the Suicide Squads. I'm not really crazy about how quick the Suicide Squads are taken out here. Here we have got Samurai Lassie's soul in her sword. And I did a bit of research. This series, it seems like an oddity. Why are DC doing a random Suicide Squads mini-series with 2 full-length stories in it? So I looked into it, and the first thing I found was saying that this book would never be released, that it was cancelled. It was cancelled in advance of any of the issues coming out. And the first 3 issues, they had been in the solicits, but the comic was just cancelled. So, as I said, this could be the last issue. It says 6-issue miniseries on the front, but apparently it was cancelled before an issue came out. I mean, that news article, I think it was Bleeding Cool or some rubbish site like that. They said that issues 1 to 3 wouldn't be released at all, but clearly they have been. So, I have no idea if there will be an issue 4. And unfortunately, both the stories here, they end on cliffhangers. But we do have a sexy bit here, because Madame Hydra is in Samurai Lassie's body and she kisses a bloke. And we have stuff about Samurai Lassie inside her sword, and there's an evil blacksmith man who made her sword, who was trapped inside of it. And I started thinking, oh, maybe, I joked about it in the first review, but maybe they're actually going to do something with that awful New 52 creeper rubbish. Hydra, they are going to do a mind swap so Madam Hydra's soul can get back into her real body. And they have caught the Suicide Squads and Julie Power from Power Pack. And then Enchantress from the films, Cara Delevingne's, she uses magic and frees them. And it's great this, to see the Enchantress finally fully realised as a character. Like, she has been underused and written all over the place. I have got her first appearance. It's pretty bad. They call her in like the actual dialogue, they actually keep calling her the Switcheroo Witcheroo. And she had 3 stories as a star, and they really weren't anything interesting or even good. She was just like a bland Z-list anthology book star that got dropped fast. Then they did do something interesting. They made her a Supergirl baddie. And that's when the whole possession kind of angle came in. It was more kind of, she just became a witch before. And she was normal and she just had witch powers. And then after she was a Supergirl baddie, she was in the Suicide Squads. And she was more of an antagonist, really. She was a member, but unreliable. Every time she used her powers, she was jeopardizing the mission or the team. And she got written out of the book within the first 20 or so issues. And then she kind of just faded away and came back in Day of Vegans. And she was more kind of an anti-hero then. It's alright. Justice League Dark, New 52, the first arc on that, really good one, had her as like the main baddie. And then she wound up back in the Suicide Squad because she was in the film. And it's just really refreshing to finally see the character not being underwhelming or an outright villain. They have made her into like a legitimate character. She is interesting now. She is prettier now. And here, this isn't even her story. And she is still like incredibly useful. She uses magic to free herself and the rest of the team. And Samurai Lassie looking very pretty there. This Aquaman model, this statue thing here, looks now like him. And then we're getting to the end of the story, and it's kind of expected, it's kind of cliche really. Samurai Lassie, her soul, it has ended up in Madam Hydra's body. So now it's just a standard body swap. Second story, we've got the baddie there, Baron Mordo, and he has kinda defeated Suicide Squad's Black. They're still fighting him, and let's see how John Jeffrey screws up the Justice Society of Superheroes, eh? And no, by the way, I am not reviewing Doomsday Cox. It's dreadful. He thinks he is like Adam Moores. Like, for real, he thinks that he is as good as Adam Moores. And it's just pretentious and embarrassing and drawn out. And it's got fucking Johnny Thunders in it. This bit here, though, very good. For starters, Enchantress, Cara Delevingne's continuing to be absolutely beautiful. You know what? With the sexy body swap thing in the first story and Enchantress, this is possibly the sexiest book so far of 2019. But this bit here, really good, because the baddie is kind of trying to bargain with them, appeal to them, get them to join them. And it's good because he goes through all of them. So the ones that I didn't really know, I get a little insight into them. And then on the next page, we get some backstory on Baron Mordo. He fell in love with a tree or something. And Ghostman, he seems to be willing to go with it, go with the baddie, to side with him, because his girlfriend is with him. And the rest of them, though, they're like, knee way. They're mostly all afraid of the bossy woman more than Baron Mordor. Enchantress, I'm really finding it hard to remain faithful to my girlfriend, Canary, with her around. And Ghostman, it maybe was all a ruse. Maybe he was serious, but then he has a realisation. You don't really know. Either way, he isn't actually going to help Baron Mordor. Instead, he shoots at him. And then Witch Boy, the annoying Witch Boy, he transforms into Witch Man. And here is a Michael Brian Benson advert to completely take you out of the story. So we get a decent fight here with Witch Boy and Baron Mordor. And oh, look at Enchantress there during the fight, really pretty. And the cave they are in, when they're fighting, it starts to collapse. And we end with the team being buried alive. And at the base, the bossy lady is told that they have all flatlined. And if that is the end of the series, if it is cancelled and there's never going to be an issue 4, what a depressing ending. I do like this comic. It's 2 full-length stories for the price of what is sometimes 1. And I can't fathom that enough. It's fantastic, really. I think value for money. The first story, it's kind of starting to drag. It's kind of starting to wear out its welcome or feel a bit padded. But I still like bits of it. It's nice that Enchantress, she is in both stories, a nice link. And she's really competent in both of them. She's a real character now, as I said. I do like this series. It's 2 stories. I say that every time. It's 2 full-length stories. And that is great. 7 thumbs up.